Sam Seder wants to come on, but I think he's one of the most disingenuous human beings in the space. So, like the dude legit is fake. So he's cut off.
Got it. I should still have him on.
Well, I invited him, and then he used it against us as a weapon. So I can tell you this. I love saying this, by the way. There are some other high-profile podcasts that have completely boycotted him, and he's like complained about this, not understanding why, and I know why. But he's considered widely in the space to be, I mean, it's kind of stupid to say, but grifter.
We've heard similar things. I'll leave it at that.
I'll tell you the story. I tweeted, hey, we often invite leftist guests on our show, and they just don't come on. So he responded, I'll come on the show. I tweeted something like, it's live in studio. We'll cover your costs, travel and accommodation. When works for you. He says, how's the 13th? I say, that works perfectly. He says, okay. I was like, we'll DM you. Immediately DM him, and he says, I'm not coming on your show. And then I was like, okay. Then, you know what he did? He goes on his show, and the Majority Report makes a claim against me. Or he starts tweeting about me and turning it into some grift where he could back out and trying to rally his audience, something like that. But like, that's a really good example of what you get when you watch someone like Sam Seder.
Listen, we've had a lot of people on. It was uncomfortable, literally, from the second to the last second, nonstop the entire time. I don't know why. And I've never had anybody on that I got that many text messages as Sam Seder. And we get, you know, every time you have somebody on, people will text you and say, oh, I cannot believe you're having that person. This person's this. I've never had anybody on that I got that many text messages as Seder, and I don't know why. That I got that many as. We get Sam Seder messages as. And people.
Negative?
Not good.
Not well, good. So I will say, in terms of media industry stuff, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I can speak in one circumstance where I'll just say there are high-profile producers and media people who have told me explicitly, and Sam will probably hear this, he's blacklisted. I don't know a lot about it.
Why, though?
Because he made a ridiculous amount of videos about Dave Rubin, and it got really creepy, I guess. It got really creepy, and I don't know how many videos he made, but there was a period where people were just like, this guy's got a weird grift going on where he just tries to do drama for his audience. Look what happens when I don't know a lot about it. Mm-hmm. And his people ran it through this weird filter, so it sounded awful, and they mocked us and insulted us like that's the fake. That's my experience. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine that many others had a very, I mean, these all Majority Report Rubin clips?
Yeah, and it just keeps going and going and going.
He's obsessed with them. Let me ask you a metaphor that Milo Yiannopoulos, we're still talking about him, he's getting names. Is he kind of taking a page out of that book, Sam Seder? It's like, we're talking about him.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. I don't know. You know, like,
I know, but
I think his views are wrong. I think he's wrong, but it was funny.
Well, by the way, I mean, Sam Seder sat down here and he said, you know, I think, you know,
holy crap, is that 168? Keep going. How many videos are there?
That's as far as I can scroll.
But you know what else? But
wow.
Let me ask you this though. When you see something like this, what do you think about when a guy's done 167 reaction videos on one person?
He loves you. Get a personal vendetta.
Loves you. I mean, that's not a good look.
And you're going to find, and it's fine. If you pull up my channel, you might find a couple dozen about the Young Turks, mostly because I'll respond to them saying something about me.
Right.
But this is like the Dave Rubin review podcast.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty wild.
So this is one thing I was told explicitly, that they were like, we don't know what his deal is, but wow, he's got a lot of Dave Rubin videos, and that kind of is like the perspective. Look, he gets a lot of views from me. He has a lot of videos about me too. I don't know how many videos he has about me, but the perception is he is not a good faith individual trying to have a political argument. He's trying to WWE style fan his audience into.
Would you say that he's a troll?
I mean, look at this. Like, come on. Look at that. Look, scroll up. Look at that picture of me.
That's you?
Tim Pool is a lying coward. Okay, you know, sure, whatever.
But I will tell you though, to me, this is
look
not
at this. Tim Pool positively comment on my work. So shout out Sam. And so we're having a conversation, and I said, it sounds like your views are utilitarian as opposed to like deontological morality. And his response was something to the effect of, I don't know what that means. And then I'm like, okay, like Thanos, for instance. Like let me bring this down to an analogy. Thanos in Avengers is a utilitarian. I will sacrifice half of the universe to save the other half, maximizing the amount of good. The idea that you would commit an immoral action against an individual is wrong. You can't cross that line, period. In doing so, he turned it into a meme saying, and then got all of his people to start tweeting at me nonstop, because they didn't understand this, and I tried to relate to them. They insulted me for it. I'm like, that's what Sam Seder does. Instead of having a good faith conversation and saying, I now understand your point, or I'm sorry, I don't understand the reference, he makes videos like that. People don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, his audience might like it. It's WWE style politics. And so there's higher format shows that are just like, we don't associate with this guy. And I think he knows it. And I think what you were just saying about getting those messages, he knows it, and he complains about it a lot. It's like, bro, clean your act up and stop doing this stuff. And maybe you might find some redemption. But you know what? Far be it for me to tell you to stop doing what works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sure the dude's making $1 million or something.
So let me ask you, we got a super chat here. Someone's asking, how much of a super chat will it take for Tim to remove his beanie? What's that all about?
The long story short of it is, I am bald.
Nonstop the entire time, literally, from the second to the last second. And it was uncomfortable.